Continuing from the previous episode 1665. That's undead fire? In the crowd, I don't know who said something, and the eyes of dozens of people who were present suddenly became hot. On the 5 huge stone pillars of Wuji Mountain, the green branches and vines of towering ancient trees emerge, and in the dark corner under the stone pillars of Wuji Mountain, traces of hot fluctuations are involved in the hearts of everyone. According to this extremely terrifying power, it is enough to easily, that thing. It is not dead fire. Legend has it that if you get immortal fire, you can be immortal and immortal in the true sense. As for whether it is true or not, I am afraid it is unknown, but this top 20 holy flame is attractive enough. Quote. The powerhouses present are also the arrogant sons of the younger generation of the 5 major academies in Li's Soul domain. They did not act rashly. The fundamental reason was that the green branches filled the entire Wuji Mountain ancient tree. The mysterious gray lines on the ancient tree made them feel powerless. The origin of this towering ancient tree is absolutely extraordinary. Xiao Yan stood aside with vigilant eyes, keeping a distance from the ancient tree, and immediately thought. The special power above the ancient tree turned out to be constantly suppressing everyone, making their hearts and even their bodies filled with an extremely uncomfortable depression, and it is not certain that the existence of this ancient tree should be for protection or it is the existence that suppresses the undead fire. In addition, Xiao Yan, with his tyrannical soul power, could not understand the obscure patterns on the branches of the strands, and this is what he has now. Chi-Chi's novels are first published on the whole network. These lines are probably derived from the lines of writing in ancient times. With our current experience, no one should be able to recognize them, and it is even more difficult to decipher them. Yu leaned over to Xiao Yan and the two and said, "At this time, this place has been divided into 4 factions. Xiao Yan and Irene Yue's faction, the Court of Judgment and the Judgment Court are 2 factions, plus the 5 factions of the Alliance, and the 5 Black Robes, a total of 5 factions. These things, according to the Master's records, are the last line of defense to protect the undead fire. Only by breaking them can the undead fire be truly simple. Otherwise, with the protection of these things, we can't approach the undead fire, let alone whether we can conquer the holy flame." At this time, Araner also spoke up. "Don't act rashly for a while, and follow those guys." Xiao Yan thoughtfully pointed his finger at the 5 men in black robes and said to the 2 women, "I don't know if it was out of intuition or something else. The details of the 5 black-robed men are not simple." "Okay." The 2 women heard the words and immediately agreed. It's actually an ancient formation, Wu Mongshan finger formation." As the strong men whispered, Deng Qing of the court suddenly wondered. "Go ahead, these are some good things." Just then, the 5 men in black robes suddenly spoke up, and their voices were filled with a death-like silence. Crash! As soon as the voice fell, 4 of the 5 men in black robes stood straight and stepped out with 1 foot. The 4 of them formed a combined attack and were wrapped in towering ancient trees. Seeing such a strange scene of the 4 of them, the eyes of the powerhouses suddenly became solemn. The details and strength of these 5 people are unknown, and their actions are extremely strange now, so they have to guard against it. Spirit summoning. Suddenly, the 4 of them said in unison. "No, stop them." At the same time, Deng Qing of the Court of Justice suddenly noticed something and spoke abruptly, and then the dazzling silver do chi on his figure turned into a net of thunder, and rushed towards it. "Humph! I'll stop them. The 3 of you, do it. Wu Shuang, you preserve your strength." As soon as the voice fell, one of the 4 figures in black robes opened the mouth and said with a menacing aura. The voice just fell, and the other 3 formed a triangle, and a steady stream of gloomy aura emerged. In this way, the gray lines on the ancient tree actually seemed to be slowly awakening, exuding endless majestic power. This guy is very strong. In front of the 3 factions, the figure in black robe stood slightly, and the other strong men said, "This place has been occupied by us, you should go back and forth from there." The man said calmly, not intending to talk too much with them. "You are dreaming. Do it." Deng Qing and Yu Xiao glanced at each other and couldn't help but say, the fighting spirit in their bodies became surging. Thunder attribute and shadow system. The 2 powerhouses at the peak of the early stage of the 5-star Do Xian, the 2 of you should be the strongest among the crowd. Well, if you defeat you, the rest of the guys will naturally be self-defeating. The black-robed man sneered, as if he didn't care about the strength of the two. Do you need to do it? The 5 members of the 5-sect alliance looked at each other and asked. Not for the time being. Zhao Guang shook his head and said, the battle situation was uncertain at this time, and the immortal fire had not been completely exposed, so it was obviously best to preserve the strength. What should we do? You were asked. You stay here. These 3 guys seem to have ideas about this ancient tree. I won't let them easily succeed. Xiao Yan finished speaking, the shadow and body behind him suddenly separated, and the figure disappeared from everyone's sight. You bastard, mysterious and mysterious, today, on behalf of our court of justice, I will bring you to justice on the spot. Deng Qing's whole body flashed with silver thunder, hesitating like a ** of thunder, with an aura like a rainbow. Ha ha ha! Today, the 5 major courtyards are all gathered here, which is exactly what I want. Today's undead fire will not only fall into our hands, but the powerhouses of your 5 major courtyards will also suffer heavy losses. Su. The gloomy voice seemed to echo through this void as if a magic sound. Wang buzzing. At the same time, Xiao Yan, who was secretly moving towards the 3 shadows, was violently tumbling in his body. The 2 holy flames trembled wildly, and even the holy flame's heart on his chest rose and fell one after another. These guys, could it be that they are really aliens? Xiao Yan also held his breath, stopped moving, and looked at the dark shadow blocking Deng Qing and the 2 of them. From under the shadow, it seems to smell a very special force. This power is somewhat similar to the power of light, but it contains an extremely terrifying evil atmosphere. Light Devil? At the next moment, an illusory figure on the edge of the void suddenly woke up and said, "This guy is naturally the overlord of the demon world who has been following Xiao Yan, the Black Dragon Wolf. It is true that only the 5-star fighting immortal early stage strength can enter, but unfortunately it does not apply to the demon world. This guy used some mysterious means, only put his own 5-star fighting immortal early stage peak power into the undead Holy Tan, and other powers remain outside of the Holy Tan of the Undying. The reason for doing this is to protect Xiao Yan." Shadow. Yu Xiao snorted coldly, and the figure disappeared directly from everyone's sight. Tips for carving insects. The power of light. Seeing Yu Xiao's method, the shadow was disdainful of it, suddenly shocked. The gloomy aura in his body disappeared instantly, and a dazzling white light like a dazzling sun covered the entire void. Chi-Chi's novels are first published on the whole network. How is it possible? Light-type powerhouse? Seeing the black-robed man act like this, the powerhouses present became stunned. In any case, it is impossible for them to think that the gloomy and evil aura was all over the body just now, but the next moment it is directly transformed into the sacred and inviolable light attribute. The gap in it makes everyone uneasy. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1666. The white on, like the first ray of sunlight before dawn, gently vented out, turning this void into a world of light. At that time, at the core of this immortal Holy Tan, countless bright auras emerge, and all other powers will be completely driven out in a flash. The aura of light is sacred and inviolable, like the goddess of light descending, purifying countless evil and filth in the world. Zhu. At the same time, the figures of Xiao Yan and Yu Xiao were directly revealed by the power of the light. Obviously, Xiao Yan, who was hidden in the shadow of the Phobos ruler, and Yu Xiao, who was hidden with the help of the power of the shadow system, were directly captured. The power of light is completely shrouded, and their power is temporarily invalid. The demon guard under the demon of light? The Heishan dragon wolf hidden in the dark couldn't help but be surprised. The demon of light, this guy is the king recognized by the Great Thousand World, and he is also one of the best kings among the evil races outside the territory. She has an extremely elite army under her. Demon Guard. The Demon Guard of Light. This is a supreme army that masters both the power of light and the power of evil. It is with this army that the strength of the Demon of Light is directly pushed to the ranks of the king-level powerhouses of the extraterrestrial evil race. Among the evil tribes outside the territory, he is also quite a status, but although this guy is quite tyrannical, he has not caused too much catastrophe to the Daqin world from beginning to end, and his whereabouts are uncertain, so he is underestimated by the Daqin world powerhouses. The ranks of the foreign evil clan are strict, and the highest-level king-level powerhouse symbolizes the strongest combat power among the foreign evil clan, and the king-level powerhouse is divided into 3 levels because of the subtle differences in strength. The lowest level foundation is the king-level powerhouse that stands among the supreme beings of the extraterritorial evil race. The status of the king-level powerhouses varies from high to low, and since then they have been the 3 supreme beings above the king-level powerhouses. The Black King, the White King, and the Red King, who only exists in legends. Generally speaking, there are 3 levels, but these 3 levels are a subtle division of strength on the basis of stepping into the ranks of kings, the most basic king, and the 3 master levels in the future, the Black King, White King, Red King. The Demon Guard under the Demon of Light. How is that possible? Lord Li Hun didn't set up a lot of obstacles around Li Hun territory to prevent the evil powers from outside the territory from harming us here. How could it be? At this time, Erin Ariu covered her mouth and nose with her hands and lost her voice in surprise. Li Sol territory is the residence of the Lord Li Sol. There are many strong people here, and there are only a few demon guards, but they are not enough to pass the defenses of many strong people to enter here. I am afraid there is some hidden conspiracy in it. Damn. It's actually a demon guard. This is the most elite unit of the Demon of Light, and it is said that wherever the demon guard goes, the Demon of Light will follow. Light Demon. That level of powerhouse is the highest White King level among the foreign evil clan, but the existence of the level equivalent to the Master of the Soul is far from what we can handle. Yu Xiao figure it was displayed, and he stayed in the air, looking at the strong man surrounded by countless white lights in astonishment. It seems that because the masters of the 4 major temples have summoned the strong souls to the temple, there are some flaws in the defense, and these ants are flooded in. But don't worry, everyone, this guy should only be the lowest existence under the Demon Guard, because I think his breath is only the peak strength of the 5-star fighting immortal early stage, exactly the same as us. Deng Qing on the side said with bright eyes. A human with white sleeves, black hair, and an ordinary appearance, but with a frenzied smile on his face, like a real demon hunter. This is the so-called Demon Guard. This time, it's interesting. Xiao Yan didn't have any worries about this, instead he felt a little calm in his heart. At the beginning, Xiao Yan was a little worried. If the powerhouses of the 5 major courtyards unite against him, I'm afraid that even if he owns 2 holy flames, he will pay a very heavy price for it. Now that there is the existence of the Devil Guard, the 5 major once the strong man in the courtyard confronted him, Xiao Yan could completely hide all his means, fully retain his strength, and have a great grasp of fighting for immortality. Ha ha ha, the strength of the Demon Guard is indeed well deserved, but you forgot that this is the territory of Li Sol territory, not a place where your extraterritorial evil clan can do whatever they want. In the name of a disciple of the court, I issue a trial order to obliterate you. My Holy Spirit realm, it's not something you worms can erode. Looking at this unruly demon guard in front of him, the corners of Deng Qing's mouth rose, and there was a golden token on his palm, like the ruler of heaven and earth. Emerge. Chi-Chi's novels are first published on the whole network, Judgment Order? Looking at the golden token, the hearts of the 5 powerhouses present sank. Once the Judgment Order is issued, don't dare to obey. The trial order is exclusive to the court. Once the trial order is issued, Li Hunyu must obey the order of the issuer, and the trial order is also divided into grades. This golden trial order is obviously the lowest existence. The 3 major judgment orders, the Golden Judgment Order, are enough to mobilize all the powerhouses under the 6 stars. The Purple Judgment Order is enough to mobilize all the powerhouses below 7 stars. The Red Judgment Order can mobilize all the power of the entire Li Sol domain. Everyone, follow me to kill this flirt, and I will discuss it later. The Golden Judgment Order flashed away, and Deng Qing said, Damn. The other powerhouses were shocked when they heard the words, but they could only shake their heads unwillingly. The shock of the Golden Judgment Order made them temporarily let go of their inner disputes. Compared with worms, there is no comparability in the lightest the fastest updated novel link to www.novelmtl.com. Do it. As soon as the voice fell, there were 7 people in the Soul Courtyard, 7 people in the Earth Spirit Courtyard, and a group of strong people from the Court of Justice Judgment Court. The dazzling Do Chi beams spread out from the body, and a terrifying offensive was brewed directly, trying to face the devil. Wei shot away. My lord, the strength of these powerhouses should not be underestimated. The black-robed man who had been standing quietly on the side said, this guy is obviously Mu Wushuang who arrested Xiao Zuoma before, but now the figure of Xiao Zuoma is unknown. Trace. I know. How long is it? The demon guard who appeared in his true colors looked at the fierce offensive of the crowd, and a strange wave flashed in the corner of his eyes, and asked hurriedly. Sir. Up to 3 minutes. We will be able to completely crack this place, and the undead fire will be ours. The three figures in black robes tirelessly conveyed mysterious power to the towering ancient tree, and immediately said somewhat powerless. 3 minutes. Mu Wushuang, get ready. If you guys fail this time, once the master blames me, I'm afraid I won't be able to keep you all. The demon guard said meaningfully. Sir, I understand. Hey Pao Mu Wushuang heard the words, and his body suddenly shook. He heard that although the light demon is a first-class female class, its strength is sky-high, and the means of torturing people can be described as Devil Guard. I hope you don't let me down. Xiao Yan licked the corners of his mouth and directly planned to attack the demon guard, but the mere power of the 4-star fighting immortal middle stage, coupled with Xiao Yan did not use all his strength, at this time and a errand general. But in the next moment, the dazzling attacks of the demon guard and the other powerhouses from the 5 major courtyards gathered together. At this moment, the real world pales in color. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1667. Boom! The terrifying offensive of many powerhouses is like endless darkness roaring away at the demon guard. The strength of its attack is so strong that I am afraid that the powerhouses in the middle stage of 5-star fighting immortals will not dare to resist, but it is precisely because of the large number of people. Some powerhouses held the heart of luck, so they fished in troubled waters, and did not go all out. With so many powerhouses fighting against immortals, the demon guard was only defeated, but now the fire of immortality is in sight, so this scene happened. It was because of this greedy fluctuation that almost wiped out these guys. Quote. A violent energy ripple wriggled, and the endless light in this void instantly shattered, and immediately returned to its original state. The void did not vibrate due to such violent energy fluctuations, but became stronger and stronger. Hoo-hoo! What a terrifying fluctuation! After the aftermath dissipated, a circle of milky white energy shackles surrounded the demon guard's body, directly protecting it and the area behind him. The milky white shackles are like supreme rulers, with an unstoppable momentum. They can easily resist the force of the crowd, but the devil guard has a strange smile on his face. If these guys put aside their mutual opinions and use all their strength to obliterate themselves, I am afraid that they will only be able to fall. Unfortunately, in order to retain their strength and compete for the undead fire, the combined attack strength of everyone is too weak. This guy is actually a human. After everyone attacked, they retreated, forming a joint attack, wrapping it up, but Xiao Yan frowned. Among the demon guards, they are basically human. Araner said with a breath of fresh air. Isn't that demon of light? Xiao Yan became more and more puzzled. It seemed that the details of this demon of light were extremely mysterious, and Xiao Yan always felt that this demon of light was not simple. Heaven's arrogant son of the dignified 5 courtyards, is this strength? It's too pediatric. Ha ha ha. The demon guard was at a height below zero, with milky white shackles surrounding his body, and endless rays of light slowly permeated his body, dazzling like a sun. This guy's strength is too strong, and light attribute power. The 5 members of the 5 sect alliance's faces were quite ugly. They were naturally trying to fish in troubled waters. You Xiao, let's do it. After hesitating for a while, Deng Qing said with a sullen face. So far, I am afraid that only by letting the 2 most powerful people in the 5 major academies take action will they have a chance to obliterate him. Damn it. Originally, these means were prepared for the undead fire. It seems that now we can only deal with the demon guards first. Yu Xiao heard the words and nodded solemnly. The awakening. I am afraid that the immortal fire will miss them. You all stand back. Deng Qing snorted coldly. The power of thunder around his body was dense, like a thunder *** of war standing still. His aura was arrogant. Shadow. Deng Qing also snorted coldly. The energy of the shadow system beside him turned into bursts of black flames, entangling his body. Have you decided to be real? Then let you have a good taste of what real fear is. The holy nail of light. The demon guard screamed in the sky as he watched the two powerhouses of the judiciary make such an offensive. Boom! At the same time, a more pure and holy milky white halo appeared around the demon guard's body, and after a while, it turned into a slap-sized milky white sharp nail in front of everyone's eyes. The nails were all snow white, and countless sacred and inviolable breaths permeated. Under this breath, countless strong men felt a vague sense of unease in their hearts. Hand of Judgment. There was a loud noise, and Deng Qing's palm gently protruded out of it. At that time, a giant thunder hand, which was eclipsed by the sky and the earth, burst out. The whole body of the thunder giant was filled with silver thunder, and countless tiny lines where a rather obscure fluctuation permeates out, and the endless majesty that sets off it seems to be able to completely destroy this place with a random blow. Scythe of Judgment. On the other side, Yu Xiao's pupils shrank tightly, and circles of black flames suddenly emerged from his body. After the blink of an eye, a huge sickle wrapped in endless black flames appeared in his hands. The black scythe seemed to exist, but the power contained in it was inciting everyone's minds. These two guys are so secretive. Yu Ura of Soul Academy looked at the methods of the three in front of her, and couldn't help taking a deep breath. What's the matter? The fluctuations in these two people are not like they can use their strength. Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed and he wondered. The Hand of Judgment. This is one of the top-ceiling fighting skills in the Court of Justice. It is so powerful that it is appalling. With this hand, it is enough to easily seal a powerhouse of the same level. Scythe of Judgment. This thing is even more tyrannical. The Sickle of Judgment is an immortal weapon, and it ranks among the best in the list of immortal weapons. It is stored in the Judgment Court, controlled by the strongest, and cultivated to the extreme. Disciple, you can temporarily multiply the phantom of the Scythe of Judgment, so as to use it to imprison the enemy. Yu explained. It's really two tyrannical guys, but the two of them are probably not the opponents of this guy. Xiao Yan was startled at first, and then shook his head. With his tyrannical soul power and control over all kinds of holy flames, Xiao Yan could clearly feel the monstrous evil power under the demon guard. It seemed that the demon guard was still not using all his strength. Sir, that guy in Yu reading link to www.youcanshu.com has the existence of Holy Flame. Just when the three were preparing for a terrorist attack, Haipao Mu Wushuang suddenly pointed at Xiao Yan and said, Holy Yan, he can't run away. The demon guard glanced at Xiao Yan lightly and spoke indifferently, but with such a light glance, Xiao Yan was shaken all over, as if he had fallen into an abyss. Suffer to death, demon guard. Deng Qing and Yu Xiao roared with a dazzling offensive, both at a height below zero. Come on, the demon guard was still half smiling. Boom! As soon as the voice fell, the holy nail of brightness shot towards the two of them under the shroud of white light in the sky. Suppress me! Deng Qing and Yu Xiao looked at each other, and the dazzling attack in their hands was directly pushed out. For a time, the entire undying Saint Tan was surging, and the energy of destruction was constantly fluctuating. Even after such a long time, the three men in black robes had slowly mobilized the power above the ancient branches, and a more dangerous atmosphere was about to emerge. Crash! The endless vindictive energy completely turned into bursts of destruction storms, squirming recklessly here. Wherever the destruction storms go, nothing grows, making this void even more desolate. Has the outcome been decided? After a long time, the fog of battle dissipated, and three figures appeared one after another from the aftermath of the battle, but above the three figures, the aura was wilted, as if about to die common people. Continuing from the previous episode 1668. How could it be? Unscathed. Seeing the rebellious smile and tone of the demon guard, the strong people present were full of shock. This guy's aura of light is too tyrannical, and he has a lot of restraint on us. It's not the way to go on like this. Deng Qing was at the front of the team, looking at the demon guard with bright eyes, and said, the attack just now gathered them. Nearly half of the power of the two, such a terrifying attack actually left him unscathed, which could not help but shake his heart. What's the matter now? Yu Xiao also looked cold and asked, the strength of this demon guard is far beyond the imagination of the two of them. By the way, why haven't the disciples of the Senate ever met? For a while, it seemed that they suddenly remembered something, and everyone couldn't help but say, Although the disciples of the Senate are not the most powerful, the Chiman armor technique they control has unexpected effects. Ha ha ha, a group of ants, accept the trial and punishment. Spirit of the ancient tree, come out. After a while, the bright aura on the palm of the demon guard turned into a ray of light, blasting away at the lines on the ancient tree, as if he wanted to destroy the ancient tree. What kind of creature living in the ancient tree is drawn out? Get up! When the other three figures in black robes saw this, they snorted coldly at the same time. Immediately, 4 milky white powers rushed towards them. Such surging power made the always quiet ancient tree tremble all over, wrapping the Wuji mountain. The green vines erupted with strong shock waves, and the scene was quite terrifying. Not good. Stop them. At this moment, Yuer's heart was filled with shock. She didn't know what tyrannical power was contained in this ancient tree, but she knew that once they were completely awakened by these things, I am afraid that these people would only have a dead end. When everyone heard the words, their pupils were filled with indifference, and when they looked up, they only felt a depressing aura pervading. That's too late. Boom! A burst of energy ripples spread out like a tide, and suddenly a sound like a shock ripple traveling through time and space filled out. Ho ho ho! Then a deafening roar was completely exposed. This is a tree spirit? Looking at the strange creature that fell off the ancient tree, the strong person present couldn't help frowning. This is a rather cute little beast, with fluffy gray feathers all over its body, only the size of a human head, and its appearance is no different from an ordinary kitten and puppy, except that there are extremely ferocious and exquisite lines on the abdomen and feet. Emerged, and even under the gray fluff, a trace of gray flames danced like an elf. The spirit of the ancient tree, we woke you up. So, kill them for me. After a while, the demon guard looked at the little beast and said with a smile. The strength of the demon guard is far more than that of the powerhouses of the same level, and the 2 attributes of evil and light make them more powerful. If they are not afraid to use all their strength, they will be discovered by the senior management of Li Soul Domain, and they will not be awakened by large means. The spirit of the ancient tree, with the help of this guy's power to obliterate you. However, the purpose of awakening the spirit of the ancient tree was to obtain immortal fire. After all, Xiao Yan and others were just some ants that the devil Wei got rid of. Ho ho ho! The little beast was naive, but after a while, his eyes were fixed on the black-robed Sha Mu Wushuang next to the demon guard, and the beast's pupils kept turning, as if he was thinking about something. This guy seems to have a similar aura to Xiao Zuoma? After blinking his eyes, Xiao Yan also felt strange. This little beast clearly contained a monstrous and arrogant aura. At first glance, it was a strange beast from ancient times. But surprising. Shabu shabu. Just when everyone was puzzled, the little beast's nose seemed to smell something, and then the figure suddenly killed Mu Wushuang under the black robe. Don't underestimate this little beast, that speed and destructive power, even a normal 5-star fighting immortal early-stage powerhouse, never possessed it. Asshole! What are you doing? When Mu Wushuang saw this, his pressure immediately increased, his speed skyrocketed, and he cursed. Ho ho ho! The little beast is still chasing this guy relentlessly, and the beast's pupils are quite resentful, as if Mu Wushuang stole the little beast's favorite thing. Go! Stop them! I will deal with the little beast. If you are hiding, I won't be polite. Xiao Yan was covered in flames, snorted coldly at the few people behind him, and then his figure skyrocketed, chasing after the little beast. Do it! At the same time, the other powerhouses also turned into a stream of light, entangling the 4 demon guards. This time, they were not hiding and tucking, and they would meet each other in the true sense, because they knew that if they were caught by this, if the 4 demon guards succeed, I am afraid that they will never die, and they will be completely missed. The thing in this guy's body seems to be the spirit of holy flame. It seems that I guessed it right. Just as Mu Wushuang was desperately escaping, a trace of black energy squirmed under the black robe, revealing a cunning aura. The aura is impressively similar to that of the heavens chosen under the Senate, but it is fleeting. Stop for me, damn it! Mu Wushuang kept moving, but he found that no matter how he moved, the little beast kept chasing after him, and the attack wave from this little guy was stronger than ever. Ooh, I don't know what aura was spreading, and a rather immature voice emerged from under the black robe. Hoo hoo hoo! Hearing the appearance of this voice, the little beast became even more angry, its aura became sharp, and it roared at Mu Wushuang with its teeth and claws. This beast has something to do with this little girl. Looks like it's time to hurry. As soon as he finished speaking, the petite figure in the black robe was hiding, and Mu Wushuang's body became violent. The dignified guy from the Ghost Kingdom is actually willing to be the subordinate of the Demon Guard. If this matter spreads out, I'm afraid. After a while, Xiao Yan's voice poured into Mu Wushuang's ears. Obviously at this time, Xiao Yan and the little beast are the same camp. Susu, what do you know? Ghost fog. A ray of blood shot out from Mu Wushuang's black robe, and immediately completely enveloped it, and a heart-pounding wave filled the air. Ho ho ho! The little beast was still reluctant, sticking out its furry front paws and grabbing its asterisk glow. Gotcha! With a sound, I didn't know what was in the asterisk glow. After the blink of an eye, Xiao Zuoma's figure was directly taken out of the asterisk glow by the little beast, and the moon fog that Mu Wushuang turned into weakened. With the appearance of this voice and the departure of Xiao Zuoma, Mu Wushuang's deafening roar sounded in the asterisk glow. This time, I must make you pay the price. With my blood, with my soul. The road to sacrifice the soul, welcome the soul. Wang buzzing, the voice fell, and the blood mist shook uncontrollably, turning into a gloomy black road that directly connected to the void in the sky. At the end of the black road, there seemed to be some tyrannical voice looking down at everyone. Continuing from the previous episode 1669. What is this? Xiao Yan's figure quickly moved away, and immediately a tyrannical flame enveloped himself, the little beast and the unconscious little Zuoma. The little beast is like a porcelain doll, desperately protecting the little Zuoma, occasionally turning away Xiao Yan. Feeling that Xiao Yan has no malicious intentions, he is relieved, but it seems to be more real. It is obvious that he can see this. The little guy seems to have an unspeakable secret about the little Dolma. Gula Gulu. As Mu Wushuang's voice fell, his soul body and even all of his power exploded in this void in an instant. Bursts of black mist, paving the way from the void, converged into a dark blood road. The endless gloomy ghosts fill the blood road, as if welcoming the return of a strong man. Mu Wushuang, you did a good job. Leave it to me next. After the event is complete, you will be in the hall. A gloomy voice emerged from the end of the asterisk path composed of dark ghosts. At the same time, a shadowy figure appeared at the end of the asterisk road, and even when this figure appeared, a sense of awe appeared in everyone's heart. 6-star fighting immortals? Xiao Yan frowned upon seeing this, obviously aware of the strength of this gloomy man, and said in surprise. You must know that this undying holy Tan can only accommodate the powerhouses of the early stage of the 5-star fighting immortal, and the strength of the 6-star fighting immortal. How could it be possible to enter here? No, this guy is not the body, but just a trace of the origin. I'm afraid this is the special method of the Soul Palace. Yu shook his head. You know? Xiao Yan asked. I know some. Yu said. Crash. With a sound, the gloomy man collapsed into the air and came directly into this space. It's really delicious, Sheng Yan. The figure just arrived here, and suddenly said with a rather evil voice. My subordinates thank the 4 souls. Mu Wushuang, who had only the last trace of his origin, turned into a meteor and immersed in the latter's body. Is this inside the undying fire? The powerhouses above the early stage of the 5-star fighting immortal cannot enter, but I still have to thank the 4 demon guards. Without your leadership, the powerhouses of our Soul Palace would not be able to enter here, let alone use the Soul Scroll to bring me a trace of my origin. Get in here, Susu. The figure that just appeared was also shrouded in black robes, but this guy's figure was extremely illusory, giving people an inexplicable fear. Soul Scroll, it's really worth it. Seeing this, Irene shook her head slightly. Soul Scroll is an extremely precious space scroll. It can be used and its strength is extremely outstanding. Soul Palace 4 Soul Venerable. Xiao Yan murmured. Until now, Xiao Yan could be sure that the Ghost Kingdom and the so-called Soul Clan Soul Palace on the Do-Di continent definitely had some hidden secrets, or that they were one power after all. The so-called 12 souls of the Soul Palace are not outstanding in strength, but on the basis of having a certain strength, holding a certain position in the Soul Palace, or controlling a certain special power, can win this honor. The strength and status of the 12 souls are from high to low. The great soul is the strongest, and so on, and the 4 souls. I am afraid that they also have a very terrifying position in the Soul Palace. It's just some ants, it's good to fall together. The 4 demon guards shrugged and smiled when they saw this. Obviously, the so-called 4 souls were like playing a family in their eyes. The 4 demon guards and the 3 5-star fighting immortals had the strength in the early stage. The guy who just took the lead was superior to the 5-star fighting immortal early stage, and just one step away, he reached the middle 5-star fighting immortal stage. Ha ha ha! The strength of the demon guards is extraordinary, but this undead fire, our Soul Palace will not give it to you easily, and the strong ones among your demon guards are not here. The 4 demon guards in the mirror want to compete with me, but there are differences. Actually, 4 souls respected with a slight smile. Sharp teeth and sharp mouths. The 4 demon guards snorted coldly. So, Soul Road, return to heaven. At the next moment, the 4 soul venerable did not hesitate. The strange power on the body permeated, and directly transformed into a dark blood road. Above the blood road, a huge black chain eroded the mind and slowed down. Emerge slowly. It's just some lonely ghosts, a little trick. Dawn of light, ripples shine. Seeing this, the leading demon guard disapproved and sneered, his whole body filled with aura of light. Following this sudden scene, the powerhouses of the other 4 courtyards were stunned for a moment. Obviously, they did not understand the current situation of the demon guard and the soul hall. Yes, is it? Suffer to death. Lock the soul. Seeing this, the 4 soul venerable roared with an extremely hot wave in his heart. Boom! With the sudden scene, the 4 demon guards were immediately restrained by the 4 souls. This girl, are you all right? Taking advantage of the fierce aftermath of the battle, Irene gently came to the little beast, as if she wanted to wake up little Zuoma, but the little beast stared at her vigilantly and felt extremely uncomfortable. This girl should be fine, but I don't know what Mu Wushuang did to her, and she has been in a coma. Xiao Yan said carelessly, looking at the strange shadows in Wuji Mountain as he spoke. There seemed to be something there. Calling Xiao Yan, and the source of this fluctuation is the undead leaf and the undead ghost. Be careful. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, his eyes became hot. Now the situation has become a mess. However, Xiao Yan has several treasures in his possession, and he can use this chaotic situation to enter the Wuji Mountain formation to find the immortal fire. Such opportunities are fleeting. It's too dangerous. After a while, seeing Xiao Yan's resolute gaze, Irene said quite worried. Don't worry, trust me. Xiao Yan didn't have any fear about this, but smiled at him. He knew that the fire of immortality was extremely dangerous, but if he obtained it, the increase in himself would probably be far beyond his imagination. Is worth it. Xiao Yan, let's go, I will help you. After a while, Irene's beautiful eyes softened and she smiled slowly. Thank you. Xiao Yan clasped his fists and said, and his figure suddenly burst out, shooting towards Wuji Mountain. Not good. Xiao Yan wants to get there first, stop him. Seeing Xiao Yan's actions, the other strong men couldn't help roaring. Boom! Lightning-like attacks filed towards Xiao Yan. Water curtain ceiling. A coquettish roar sounded in midair, followed by a huge water curtain as large as 100 feet. The water curtain easily dispelled these attacks, and Irene's breath became weak. Obviously, this level of fighting skills consumed nearly 90% of her fighting spirit. Xiao Yan, I hope the teacher is right. You will be the savior of this great world. As soon as the voice fell, Irene was dying. Just when everyone tried to kill her, the figure of this figure became illusory and dissipated in the after arriving here. It was obvious that they had left the holy Tan of the undead, but no one noticed that the little beast and the little Zuoma also entered the Wuji Mountain formation with Xiao Yan.